Welcome, Ari. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Ari, before we begin, I used a Persian Farsi word, declame. Explain it to my listeners.
So declame is a word that is like schadenfreude, but there's no proper synonym in English for it. So you have to describe it by a phrase. And the best that I can come up with is becoming the poem. And we're talking about a culture that's so immersed in poetry that of course you would have to have a word to describe what it feels like when you recite a poem. You become a poem.
I saw you on Saturday evening, Friday evening, doing a concert with two other phenomenal musicians.
Right.
And I was just entranced, in love, in everything you could be with the poetry that you were telling us. And especially when you did it in Farsi, because that not understanding Farsi at all. And what Ari did was she first performed the poem in Farsi and then performed the poem in English. But yet, the way it was presented, the becoming of the poem, I didn't have to know the language. It was absolutely beautiful to watch it. Let's talk a little bit about that. You perform Rumi poems.
Correct.
How did you come to Rumi?
Really, the way that I describe it, my relationship with Rumi began long before I was born. The poetry is really in our blood. I was lucky enough to be born in a family of poetry lovers and poets, but really in Iran you don't have to be a Persian literature scholar, or you don't have to be a poet or a poetry lover. You just have to be alive to partake from this rich, beautiful aspect of the culture.
And it is truly a rich, beautiful aspect of the culture, which we don't really know about today. All we know is the warring and the extremists and every person that we think is coming out. And we'll talk a little more about it.